Hi there. Hi, Leonie. Welcome to
Hi,
Platform and Possibilities. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Ms. Phipps, for inviting me to be a part of this conversation tonight. I'm excited.
Good, good. And it's Corinne J. Corinne, you could just call
Corinne J. Corinne J.
I want to welcome our listeners to our Platform and Possibilities. As you know, this is a platform where we do our best to inform, to inspire, to empower people, and we try to entertain. And I do know that you're here with a burst of energy this today, and I am so excited that you've taken some time to talk with us about Leonie, Shorte, Nicholls. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks again for joining us.
Oh, you're
So,
welcome.
back in, I think it was October, Leonie, we connected at a funeral, unfortunately. But
Mhm.
such good energy came out of that conversation because there I learned. I've seen your face before.
Mhm.
I've seen you around several diaspora St. Kitts Nevis events, but I've never gotten close to you. And you were basically my introduction to you was basically about your second job or
Yes.
a hobby. I think it was, you communicated it as if it was a growing hobby, growing side hustle, but you are a woman engrossed in other activities or fully employed otherwise, but
Yes.
the travel business is seemingly a love of yours. But before we talk about those things that excited me about who you are, who would you say Leonie Shorte is? Give us a little background on Leonie before the business conversation and the hobby conversation.
All right. Thank you so much, Karenji. My name is Leonie. I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm also a wife. I'm a mother of five amazing children, and I have one grandson named Messiah. I am a daughter to my mom, Valerie Short. My dad, Lynn DeGuaya, has passed on. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. I have so many nieces and nephews here and also in the Caribbean in St. Kitts. And I'm really a true friend and as also a confidant. I was born and raised in St. Kitts, the beautiful island of St. Kitts that I love so much. And I'm so grateful to God for making me who I am, which is a Black woman of Caucasian descent. And if anyone you talk to, you will know that I love St. Kitts bad, bad, bad. And my goal and my desire one day is to retire there, right? I'm a Christian. I love to serve God. I love to be amongst his people. And one day I'm hoping that I can even build in terms of that ministry at church as well. And, in terms of St. Kitts, again, going back, I am always tuning in to St. Kitts. I'm a Freedom head. I'm always listening to Freedom FM. Shout out to all those people there, all my wonderful DJs. But full time, I'm a regional office project associate. I work for the Office of Children and Family Services, working with the Professional Development Program. So within that role, I serve 9 local districts of Department of Social Services in our Region 5, which consists of like Sullivan County all the way down to Suffolk and Nassau. And on a part-time basis, I'm a legitimate 1099 home business travel owner. So I'm an independent travel advisor, and the name of my business is called PearLynn Travel. And my business is backed by one of the most professional host agencies. And they've been in the industry for over 30 years, and that's in teletravel. So when you think about me, you think about, love for self, love for community, love for others, right? It was even when you think about my name, the name of my business, PearLynn Travel, I wanted to choose a name that would honor 2 very important people in my life, right? So you're thinking about that person is my grandmother, PearLynn, and she was instrumental. She was a huge part in raising me and instilling some very core values, morals. life lessons, as well as my dad, Lynn. So that's why I decided to name my business PearLynn Travel.
I see.
Yes.
Well decided upon, very well crafted. Before you migrated to the US though, where in St. Kitts and Nevis St. Kitts did you grow up?
Okay, I'm actually, I was born and raised I'm from Deep Bay in St. Kitts. As you would say, back of Godland, the countryside. So I grew up, on Chapel Street in Deep Bay. And those were some amazing formative years for me. Like, I remember just being a child and just playing. Taking that time when you went to school, we had an assembly. If you miss assembly, it was like such a hard situation. You're like, oh my God, it felt like your whole life had ended. There was like a lot of competition in school back then, like who's trying to be number one, being the top 5. I was always between 2 or 3 within my age group. And I remember then transitioning to Sandy Point High School at 12. But then we recently, right after that, shortly after that, we were, immigrated to the States in 1983.
Right. So there was something, I'm trying to see what about your upbringing led you to working with children. Was there anything in particular that sparked that interest?
Oh, it started very, very young in terms of working with children. I'm even coming from that social work background. I've got my master's in social work in 1995. I was always a community person, just always concerned about people. When you were hanging out with your friends, I felt like a mother hen in a sense, right? Very maternal and very parentified at that age. So it just felt like, having a large family as well was something that kind of led me. Even in high school, when I was here in New York at Truman High School, I was like a big sister, a big mentor to some of the younger children who were coming into the school setting. Even at Ithaca College, I signed up to be a big sister for my little sister, Tiara. And today she's in her 30s and we're still very close. Extremely close. So I've always had that community, effort. And actually that came from my grandma as well. My grandma was well known in Deep Bay, Mama PearLynn. We always called her Mama, and she always thought about the community. She never, if there was a hurricane and somebody needed help, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to the government to get help. She literally would take people into our own home. And it wasn't just her who was responsible. Everyone in that household was responsible to make sure that old person was taken care of until they were able to get back on their feet.
Right. So I see you mentioned that you've worked with the regional office as a project associate, right? For well over 17 years you've been immersed in community service and children's social service. 17 years is a long time. Is that the tipping point for you to segue into this other not hobby but other field?
My other role.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've always loved, right? I went to school, did this work, but I've always loved travel. I've always loved to travel. I was very intrigued by pictures, being able to see other parts of the world, right? And even growing up in St. Kitts, our family have a spirit of entrepreneurship. My maternal grandma, PearLynn, who I named my business after, she would sell like different clothing that would come from England, USA, Canada. And my mom, Valerie, walked right into Mama's footsteps. Again, baking her own goods and walking to different parishes to sell. So we were always had that spirit of merchantship and selling, and actually entrepreneurship, trying to do something for yourself. How could you put your name on a business for yourself so that you can begin to consider leaving that legacy for your children to come, right? Even my Uncle Hiram owned multiple businesses in the Bronx. Now he has a liquor store in Suffern. We have so many family members who have that spirit of entrepreneurship. And I think it all stemmed from our grandma, PearLynn. And we recently found out that her legacy and her heritage and history comes from Nigeria. And we come from the Yoruba as well as the Hausa family and those type of people, right? And those people are merchants. You hear that they're vendors. So that spirit goes deep. It's not just me, my grandmother. It goes even deeper back to our legacy and our heritage in Nigeria. Right. So all those people, right, have helped me to see that you did it, right? I have my cousin who just wrote a book, Shallow Waters. She's living, my cousin Ivana is a beekeeper. We are all striving for to be that entrepreneur, because for me, building this business in travel as an independent travel agent, advisor, that work never ends. It's never gonna stop because people love to travel. People love to see something different. We want to be able to get out and to move and not be in that same space where we work and live.
That's a good point. And you know, what's so funny is I noted that you also embarked on this initiative some 2 years ago. Yes. 2 years ago would have been in the heart of COVID, when people's direction and vision was a little blurred. So what was the spark for you? What said, let's jump?
My God, the spark for me, unfortunately, was around 2018 when I lost my dad suddenly to a stroke. Daddy was a hard worker. He was always working hard for his family, and to lose him so quickly, and the inability and not him having an opportunity to even see his retirement. He wasn't retired yet at 66. So I was like, wow, you know, that was in 2018. And I was like, that broke my heart so much to see that he invested so much and wasn't able to see and to live through the fruits of his labor, right? So I was like, no, I don't want that to happen to me, right? So I started to think strategically around the travel, right? I hadn't been on Facebook for over 10 years. So now the pandemic, right? 2019, the end. I kind of, what you call that, selfishly or just, wanted to get on Facebook because I wanted to connect to the carnival home in 2019, right, when all this stuff was already popping off regarding the pandemic. I was like, I'm hearing them talk about Freedom FM is going to be live. I'm like, I'm going to try to get it back on Facebook. So I did that. And then early 2020, I saw this young lady posting all these pictures about travel. And I was just way too curious because I love to travel. So I was like, no, I emailed her. I sent her a direct message. What's going on? What is this about? So that's when she invited me to this meeting. And I went to the meeting and I was sold. This is exactly what I was looking for because I was already doing it, but I wasn't getting paid for it. So I would have family members contact me, Leonie, check this for me, check this out. Can you do this for me? And I would do all that stuff, do all the search, screenshot, send them all the information. They booked their flight and that was it for me.
Thank you. And thank you.
So I was like, when this lady told me, Monique Clark told me about this opportunity, there was I swear to God, there was no hesitation in me making this investment for myself and my future generation and for my family, my children. I wanted to be able to do this, and this was the perfect way to do it. I even considered working for JetBlue so I can get some little perks there. And you're on a standby flight. This is beyond that. This is so much way better.
So it sounds exciting, by the way, and it sounds so this purpose in what you do, and obviously impacts the lives of not just family, but anybody who wants to travel. What's a normal? How do you normally, first of all, acquire clients?
Right.
And then how does it work? Explain to me how you can, and especially because you have this full-time job now.
Yes, I do. I have my full-time job, and that's usually 8 to 4, 8:30 to 4:30, 9 to 5, right? So I know during that time frame, that's what I'm doing. So this becomes like an after work. I actually literally have to get my calendar. I don't just rely on my phone calendar. I literally have a paper calendar where I put in how many hours am I going to put in for this travel business? And it's usually after work, and then balancing that with also your family, right? So again, I hadn't been on Facebook, but right now, a lot of my market has been on social media. It would be family, friends, right? Social media through Facebook, Instagram. So there are times when I do different posts, people will get intrigued and they're like, oh, where is that? And I'm like, I follow up on that. I see what people are saying. There's a comment below. And I will just even say, hey, Karenji, I saw that you liked my post. What did you like about it? So then we begin to have that conversation.
Yep.
So once we have that conversation and find that there's that interest, I will let them know, if you're interested in booking, I actually created a customer profile form through Google Drive. And it's a form that I can just easily text to you and say, hey, thank you for your interest in booking your travel. Please complete this form. And then, and submit it to me. Right. So once I receive that submission, it will outline their name, their address, email, contact information, where they want to travel from. It's very detailed. And I'm actually getting to the point too that I'm not just even asking if your passport is up to date. Will it be up to date by your travel? I'm literally going to begin to ask for a passport number and expiration. So I have some updates that I want to do to that form. Right. And at the end of really getting all the details. Are you looking for beach? Are you looking for fun? Are you looking for a life, more of a lime life? Are you looking for a party scene, relaxation? Do you want a spa? So all those different details in the questionnaire and the customer profile will help me to understand what your needs, right, so that I can curtail your travel based on that. Are you looking for all inclusive? Are you looking for a hotel or just a flight? What are you looking for? And we always ask for some form of budget. Give us a sense of what you're thinking per person for this trip. If it's a group, if it's a single person, how many adults, how many children. So my form is very, very detailed.
Perfect, right. Are you a one-man show? Do you have a team? Are you doing it all on your own?
As of right now, being an independent travel agent, advisor, I'm on my own, but I do have a team of people, other like-minded people that is a part of that team and that partnership, who are all also ITAs, and we all collaborate to ensure that we're doing the work. There's a lot of training, coaching. So as I said, I specialize in domestic and international travel. I book hotels, flights, car rentals, cruises, vacation rental, packages, all inclusive, activities, tours, excursions. And I never not have that discussion around travel protection, making sure we have that travel insurance, that whatever you're investing in, because travel is an investment. If you're going really in those deep, all-inclusive, it's good money that you're going to be shelling out, and you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself and your travel. So
how is it? How are you winning? How are you monetizing it to be of a financial win for you? How does that look?
Well, for me, in terms of when I first got started, you're right. We were right in the midst of a pandemic, so there wasn't much happening in terms of travel, right? Mm-hmm. So guess what I did during that time? My investment was my training. I invested in getting all my trainings that I can complete. So I've completed my IntelliTravel University. Again, IntelliTravel is my host agency. And I've attended our 2021 IntelliTravel Quest. It's a two-day event where all the suppliers in travel all come together to provide that support to us, what we need, to give us updates in information, what's happening in the world of travel. And all this type of training, it helped me and gave me the tools and the knowledge that I needed to make the best of my home business. And during that time of the pandemic, I was still launching my business. I was telling people, hey, I'm an independent travel agent. So I wasn't just sitting back. I was still making myself become known. Now I had my platform in terms of my social media. I then dived into Instagram, and more recently, oh my God, I never thought I would be on TikTok. But Leonie Shorte Nicholls is on TikTok, and my husband is like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really, babe, because it's gonna benefit all of us in the long run. Right? Don't worry about it. So, I also received my certification as a dream maker and a vacation builder. So those are different steps that you take in terms of the business. And I'm working right now to become a travel genius, where you are able to monetize it, right? You would need to earn at least 5,000 in that calendar year and do some additional training with the cruise line industry.
Right, right.
That's my next thing that I'm working on.
So you're building your overall profile, and
Yes.
you're positioning yourself to be appealing to prospects. You know, you don't just
Yes.
talk the talk, but you are literally walking it. Look at you.
Yes, and I last year actually made a profit above my overhead costs. So that was the first year in 2021, and I'm looking for even 2022 to be even more massive because I've already did so many booking already for 2022.
Right.
I've booked St. Kitts, I've booked Vegas. Right now, we have a family and friends cruise planned for December 22. We're leaving out of Puerto Rico, going to Aruba, Curacao, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and it's a holiday Caribbean cruise. Nice. I want us to do something a little bit different for the holidays. I didn't want that running down the stairs, that Christmas tree. We're literally going to be on that cruise on Christmas Day and enjoying the festivities around that.
Right. Sounds like so much fun, Leonie. And I hear you say that you manage to balance, you do your 9 to 5, but the excitement, listen, the excitement of the business, does that not, is it not overlapping at times? Like you do your 9 to 5 and you're diligent and you're committed to your 9 to 5, but suppose a customer has a question not at 6 p.m. but at 7 a.m. How do you avail yourself to that, to the business, the side gig? How do you do?
It all depends, right? Because usually around that time I'm traveling. If it's something that I can easily get on the phone with them, I'll go ahead and do so, because you're not able to text and any around that time, right? Because if you're traveling, you're in that travel mode. So if it's something that can avail and say, you know, hey, let's get on the phone, let's have a conversation about it, yes, let's go ahead and do so. But if it's something that's going to take a little bit more time, that maybe I need to search and do something, I may end up doing that within a break at my job or during my lunchtime.
Okay.
So you're constant, yeah.
I got you. You find a way to balance. It's multitasking.
Find a way.
It's what we do well. I mean, you've developed that expertise in terms of your current job, and you're growing as you grow the travel business. You're getting a sense of what's required in terms of time, how much time to spend on it with the customer.
Absolutely, and you're gonna get out of it what you put in. So the amount of hours that you're gonna put in, maybe on a Monday, I may not have. Monday could be look like I'm in team meetings for 2 hours. So that might be it for that day. So if you know that on Monday you were not stuck in meetings, but you were a part of that team hurdle, maybe Tuesday, then you'll focus on doing some quotes for the people that your clients that you're working with. And Wednesday may look a little bit different, that, you know, hey, I might be also talking to someone about the possibility of they too being a home-based travel agent.
Right.
So there's so many different folds to this. That's another aspect of the business as well, is that anyone who's interested in doing this and earn that extra income, they too can be a home-based travel agent.
Right. Interesting, Leonie.
Yes.
What's your clientele like in numbers?
In numbers, I would say right now, maybe about 15 people that I've worked with over the years. Over the 2 years, remember that first year was just about getting to know, building that clientele.
15.
And I'm hoping, yeah. And I mean, as I said, my first client was my cousin Angela, and I would never forget that. She will forever be my first client.
Right.
And, you know, I made it very special for her too, because she was celebrating her birthday. So I actually contacted the resort that she was staying, had them decorate it and bring a special bottle for her.
Wow.
So, and the clients that I just had in Vegas, same thing, just did something very special, a small touch to let them know that you appreciate the business that they offered you.
You sound like you go above and beyond, Leonie.
Yes. And actually, you know, maybe I need to double check in time. My number may be a little bit higher because I just recently got about a 6-room booking for Vegas 60th birthday. And that was amazing. And that was a good friend of mine who told his daughter to contact me. And through that, I was able to book 6 rooms for them in Vegas, including flights as well.
That's phenomenal. And you mentioned the fact that you are also a cruise agent. You travel covers everything as much as
Yes, everything. Yeah. Cruising as well. Yeah. And again, you making sure we protect that travel for that client. Don't sometimes they may come in, oh, I don't want travel protection. But we have a discussion about that. And when they complete that form, I also get them on the phone to just make sure we go through that form. Everything is correct. Because again, we're going to be utilizing that form to do the booking. And I want to make sure that the name is spelled correctly. They're putting it in right. We go through that because, again, if they're traveling internationally, that passport, everything has to match what's on that passport.
Gotcha.
So, and you literally have to have their passport. Right. So those questions are vital because some people might say, oh, I've got it and they don't have it, or it's not up to date, or this is happening with it. So, yeah.
Right. Listen, you have definitely spread your wings and have taken a plunge. I think you've been really creative about how you've transitioned or are attempting to transition from your everyday to your, you know, some people call it a side hustle, some people call it a gig, but you are creating, like you said, a legacy. You are working your family, the future of your family. How do you, as somebody who's taken that plunge, how do you encourage others? What's your words of advice for a prospective entrepreneur, young entrepreneur especially? What do you tell others interested in pursuing a personal business, a home business, or interested in entrepreneurship?
Right. My advice would be to whatever you're going to embark on is to have that passion. Don't be afraid, right? Do not make those excuses. Take that extra step. Educate yourself about your line of business. So if you're going to be in travel, you want to make sure you're also traveling because the expectation shouldn't be just for your clients. I would say go for it. Go for it. Be honest with yourself. Be truthful. Do not give up, even when you feel like you're not succeeding. Because in 2020, I made no money, but I felt the growth in myself because I was more educated about travel. I knew how to complete a booking. My sponsor was so amazingly great because you also have to have a coachable spirit because you don't know it all. And I think we walk around thinking, oh, we know it all, and we don't, because we need to leave room for that. I would encourage people to just stand the course, because if I had bowed out and said, you know, hey, I'm not going to do this, I didn't make any money in 2020, then I would not have had the success in 2021 where I actually receive a profit above my overhead costs. So, and I am claiming it that 2022 is going to be an even more greater profitable year. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we have to stay, it's my business. So whatever I get out of it is what I'm going to invest in it. So I am not giving up. This is something I've always loved to do, and I'm going to stand the course.
Right. And for somebody who's from the island, St. Kitts and Nevis, how do you go about tapping that audience of your peers, of your residents of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean? How do you go about promoting? I know you said you were on TikTok. I know you said you're on social media.
Right. I'm actually ways. Yes, I'm actually on the largest St. Kitts group as well. And Karenji, just to be honest, fully honest and transparent, it's not even the majority of my clients right now is not even my family and friends. These are people that I've met on Facebook, people that I went to college with. And there's a few of them who are coming into it right now. But, when originally started, it wasn't that fully like that. Angela was my first, and that's my family. And then there's a few that might trickle in, and I'm now getting a few friends that are coming in. But I'm also seeing people that I met on Facebook who's reaching out to me, total strangers who saw the post, because I have it as a public. It's public on Facebook, so anyone can see my information. Right. And so it's a combination. But right. My role is to I'm thinking about contacting. I already reached out to Junie Liebert. I'm looking into doing an advertisement with him for my travel business. So that's my next step. I already spoke to him. I spoke to Triple S sincere.
Right.
I'm always in conversation with Rinch as well, and EK and Sugar Bowl, all of the crews. So right now, my next step is to make that investment, to make that advertisement on Freedom FM for my travel business. Yeah.
Use as many pools that you can tap into, platforms.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, I see your passion. I
love
your
it.
spirit, and that resonates with others. And I can only imagine that success is going to follow you, because like you said, you put in the work, you're going to get the results.
Absolutely.
One thing we tend to ask people, especially after we hear all this stuff about you, good stuff, is what's the one thing about you that maybe a lot of people don't know? We call it a fun fact. One fun fact about you that Leonie would like to share on this platform.
Oh my goodness, my fun fact. Actually, one of the fun fact is they messed up my birth certificate in St. Kitts, so I actually have 2 birthdays.
Oh, grief. Oh, Lord.
Oh my goodness. So actually was born on the 16th of May, and unfortunately it says the 15th. So it's so much.
In both?
I still have family and friends that call me on both
15th and
birthdays.
Okay. It's a fun fact.
That's a fun fact. And I love to dance. That's another fun fact.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
I saw that in your bio.
Floor.
I did see that in your bio.
Yeah.
And we can talk forever, because you have so many stories to tell. We didn't even touch on the fact that you said you minister, you're a believer, and that you minister, and I could hear the energy, I could hear the confidence, and I'm hopeful that also comes out for the listeners, that they recognize that Leonie has a buzz of energy, loves people, loves community, and is a giver. And with this platform, always, you are giving people an opportunity to capitalize on traveling based on your expertise. I couldn't be more thankful, and again honored, because I know you could be somewhere else, doing other things, especially because you're busy. I am very, very honored that you decided to share with me and share with the world what Leonie does. Thank you so much for all you do. We continue to celebrate women, and you are the epitome of strength of a woman, and continue the entrepreneurial drive that you have, and you are an example to our community. You are one of our pride and joys.
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy that I met you, first of all, and I'm proud.
Same here as well. Yeah. Same here as well. And I've been listening to your podcast, and it's just amazing how you're looping in so many people within our community who may not even be heard of outside of that level. So when these platforms are given for others, we're going to reach so much more, right? We're going to hear other listeners are going to be in tune to what we're doing and how our community is growing.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming back here and having a conversation with you sometime later, because at the rate you are going, greatness it will follow you, definitely.
Okay.
And your family.
Could I just leave you with one thing?
Sure.
All right. So Warren Buffett, he's one of the most successful investors of all time. And this is what he said best. He said, never rely on a single source of income. You must invest to create a second source. And through my travel business, I'm investing in myself, in my future, and that of my family, because I want to save more. I want to earn more. I want to have that financial freedom, that time freedom. And there's so much adventure out there. Adventure is awaiting us. So I'm looking forward to finding it with all my clients. So thank you, Karenji.
Good word. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your energy. Thanks for your positive vibe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, my dear.
Until next time.
I appreciate it. Yes, until we meet again.
Thank you for joining us on Platform and Possibilities. Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.
You
Thanks.
too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.